Hi friends, Susan Campfield here at SueStampfield.com. Welcome to my stamp room. Welcome to Crafternoon. I hope you're all having a great afternoon and I hope you're ready to craft together. This is my monthly class. Those who placed a qualifying order last month received a packet in the mail from me. Sorry about the noisy printer in the background. I'm printing out the 22-page tutorial that goes along with this video so that I can make sure I'm following along. Oh, is it finally done? Oh gosh. Okay, my printer is so slow, you guys. It's been printing for 5 minutes. Crazy. Now, this is, as I said, my monthly class where I do a unique fun fold. This fold I had several requests for, so I'm excited to share it with you today. It's also a fantastic fold for using up all of those extra strips of cardstock that we all have. So let's go ahead and should we get started? First, I want to thank you for making and sending handmade cards. You're absolutely making the world a kinder place with every card that you send out from your heart. It's touching so many lives, so thank you for all you do. I hope in my videos you get a little more inspiration so you can keep making and sending those cards and just keep making the world a better place. So thanks for all that you do. I am going to be having, so the tutorial for this card is actually already available on my website for purchase. The blog post with all the fancy pictures and everything else will be coming. If you qualified and got a packet in the mail, your tutorial will be coming to you via email tomorrow. You know, I make a beautiful email for you with all the full-size pictures and supplies and everything along with the tutorial. So that is coming. That'll come out tomorrow. Same with my team. They always qualify for the tutorial for free. In fact, my direct team members got to make a version of this card on Thursday at our team meeting, which was interesting because the power went out in the middle of our virtual meeting. But I had people here at the house that attended in person, and they helped me do a mock-up emergency lighting video studio, and we were able to just record from my phone some of the presentations so that I could upload them later. So I know, Arlene, the tutorial is ready for purchase. The blog post isn't ready yet, but it is coming. So yeah, so should we just dive right in? I'm gonna switch cameras here. Let's do that. Fantastic. All right, everybody see me okay? Just got new nail color. She made them kind of pointy. I like rounded better, but hey, it's a pretty color at least. Hang on, let me grab. All right, sorry, Mercy. I'm stepping over the dog. She made her a little nervous there. All right, so last month's Crafternoon, we did the Quadruple Z-fold card. This is a vertical card. And there were 5 different designs of this one. The strips on this vertical version are 1 inch. And the reason I'm doing a recap of last month's is that I had several requests to do this fold, but do it in a horizontal layout. So you would think that that would be an easy thing to adapt that, right? Now, all of the information for these are on my blog from the June blog post, the June Crafternoon, so you can check that out there. But it actually took quite a bit of doing to get it to be stable enough. And I got there. So I'm really excited to share this with you. So let's go ahead and start by looking at the cards. And I'm going to tell you, this tutorial has a bonus. There are not just 5 cards in this one. I mean, 5 cards are great, right? But this one actually has a bonus card. So we're obviously, all my cards fit in a standard envelope. I'm in the US, so all of the measurements in the tutorial are imperial in inches. So this is the card that we're going to make today, and this is the horizontal quadruple Z-fold card. So again, we have the 4 slats, but this time they are 3/4 of an inch instead of 1 inch. So a great way to use up those scraps. And then the layer is another great way. I don't know about you, but I have so many little pieces of designer paper laying around my stamp room. So this is a perfect way to use up those little pieces. Now you're going to see on these different versions of the cards that sometimes I use designer papers to decorate. Sometimes I used embossed panels. Sometimes I mix and match like I did on this card. And then this type of card, so of course it stands for display. And I think it's really cool how it makes kind of a shadow box thing there. And my sister actually said, you know, it kind of looks like a fence, like a horizontal fence. And this type of card, where do you sign it? Again, you sign this one on the back, the same as we did with the vertical one. So this is the horizontal quadruple Z-fold card. Let's look at the alternates, and then I'm going to walk you through how to make this card base. Now, in this video, I will be giving you all of the pieces to make the card base. I'm not going to be giving you all these gazillion different little decorative pieces. The measurements for that are in the tutorial, and honestly, if I dropped all that on you, it would be very confusing, and it's all spelled out in the tutorial. Now, I'm a visual learner, so I like step-by-step photos, and that's what you'll find in my tutorials. They are very thorough. It's 22 pages, and at the beginning there is a table of contents right there, so that you can, if you want to print just the card you want to make, it's easy for you to do. Okay, let's go ahead and let me show you the different cards, and then I think you'll be surprised how easy this is to make. That's what I love about cards that can look fancy but are actually easy, so that the person that gets it is impressed. So this first one, I did a little change up on the designer series paper. This time I put it inside. So this one is truly more like a shadow box. So when it stands for display, you can see that beautiful pattern on the inside. This one is from the Splendid Autumn designer series paper, and I used the Label Me Grateful bundle, which comes with the flowers and the leaves you see here, and this big label, and also the words, to decorate it kind of to match that. I don't know if we call that a sunflower design or a cone flower. It could be either. Probably technically a cone flower, but I'm calling it the sunflower because over here I use that great sunflower 3D embossing folder, and also on the slats. So that just adds an extra an option, and I have the dimensions that I used for this inside paper. At the beginning of the tutorial, you have your basics and step you through how to make the fold, but then I also have the complete instructions for each individual card and how I stuck things on and all of that. On the back of this one, I also added a little bit of the embossed sunflower across the top. Some of the versions, I added a little strip of designer paper on the back. I did a variety, but it's nice to add a little something on the back, right? So this style used basic postage. So Kathy, it depends how lumpy you make it. It depends how many embellishments you add. This one has some bigger embellishments. These are the Druzy embellishments that I custom colored with Stampin' Blends, and that's a bulkier embellishment. So this one I would put 2 stamps on, but if you didn't have any bulky embellishments, absolutely it would be standard postage. Oh, this next one is one of my favorites, you guys. I'm so excited about this one. I don't know. I love fall. Does anyone else love autumn? It's just like my favorite part of the year. So this one is, again, that Label Me Grateful. So this one I used Label Me Grateful on, and I also used it on this. So completely different look, right? But same products. So for this one, I cut the acorns out of copper paper and then did the oak leaves are in cherry cobbler, and this one I did designer paper on the sides, front, both sides, and that is the Country Woods designer series paper. And then we have the what are they called? The flower. Hang on, I gotta cheat and look. Pressed flower motifs embellishments is what I used on there, but anything kind of vintage looking would be great. Yeah, this one has kind of a Western feel and does give you more of that fence appearance because of that wood grain paper, right? And just that real fall feel. Now this one I got a little carried away because I was having so much fun on the front with this Label Me Grateful bundle. It's awesome. I love the acorns in there. It's just super cool. So on the back side, I added a few more. Why not? Add some more acorns and oak leaves there and another little strip of that paper. So this one is from in Early Espresso and Crumb Cake. Combined with the cherry cobbler. It's kind of a really great fall combination, those colors together. And since we're talking fall, how about a little Halloween, right? So this adorable card is made with the Spooky Halloween bundle. There is nothing spooky about this card, that's for sure. The bundle has, I suppose it does have like a haunted house and some bats, which I guess could be spooky, but mostly it's just adorable. It also has a kitty. This is the puppy dressed as Frankenstein. And you can see we have on this one, again, a little change up. I didn't put any designer paper on the slats on the front. I did put another piece on the inside, however, so when it's standing, you get that shadow box appearance. Sorry, my lighting is not picking that up the best. In person, you can see that better. And then I did put a little designer paper on the side. So I used the one with the candy. What's fun about this particular designer series paper, which is called, I believe, Spooky Sweet or Spooky Sweets, and it's got candy and different things in it, but it also has some die cut pieces that are pre-done and punched. You could punch them out. So instead of doing the dog, there were some other options that I could have done that punch them out and make quick and easy Halloween cards. These little foam glitter stars are in there too in multiple colors. That's part of that suite of products. And just super, super cute little card. So this one is now this one, I have to change this one out. In the tutorial, I recommend that you use black dimensionals on this. It's just a little nice finishing touch. I did use it on the dog. And I need to change out the banner and do it there. That way when somebody is looking down, you can't see those dimensionals because they'll be black and they just disappear right in. So they're handy for darker cards. In fact, I believe I used the black ones on here. You can double check that in the, oh yeah, I did. So then you don't have those white blobs. Okay, well, from fall, I think we should hop on to Christmas, right? So many of you know that my extended family has a Christmas tree farm in Iowa. And so I could not resist the Tractor and Company bundle. I just think it's awesome and it's so perfect for our farm. Although do we have any red tractor? We might have a red mower. Our tractor's blue. But anyway, I just thought red tractor was more Christmassy. So on this one, I truly went for that fence feel because of the farm motif. Now this Tractor and Company, Tractor and Co. bundle, it doesn't have just Christmas. It also has year-round images, so you can do a variety of different things. I decided to go for Christmas, and I used the birchwood embossing folder to really give me that fence. Here's my fence post and my fence slats, and I just kept it all embossed on this one to give it that fence feel. And of course, hit a little Christmas tree on the inside there. But I just think this tractor is so adorable, and they're really fun to build with all these different little parts and dies that come in the set. So you can also stamp the tractor and do some other things there. There's even a die where you can put a hood over the top of the tractor. So all about options, right? And then, of course, I use those fun peppermints. Those were so popular last year, we couldn't keep them in stock. So I would recommend, if you want those for your Christmas cards, go ahead and pop them in your next order so that you don't, because I'm going to guess they're going to sell out again. They are so adorable. And they're foam, so they're really lightweight and not bulky. And then back on the other side, just a few more little Christmas trees. And then the Merry Christmas is actually from a different stamp set. Let me just look at the name of that one. Got my supply list from the tutorial printed out so that I could double check. It's called A Little Cheer is the name of the stamp set, just so I could have that Merry Christmas. And I kind of like this font. It reminds me of the Grinch for some reason. It's this kind of a classic children's book font, I guess. I don't know. So there's that one with the Tractor & Co. for our Christmas card. And then I have one more card. This is the one that my team made. This one is also with the Painterly Pears, as was the first card I showed you. Different pattern on the paper. And this one, we actually distressed this. So this cardstock here is actually the two-tone cardstock, embossed with the Damask Designs embossing folder. And then we took a little nail file. I sent each of them. Oh, my husband is texting me. He can't be doing that during a video. Naughty. So the little nail file they all got in their packets. and they just sanded off the top layer of the embossing to expose the white underneath, and it gives it a really soft vintage look. This is Petal Pink two-tone cardstock. The other great thing about two-tone is it's very lightweight. It's more like designer paper weight, so it doesn't add so much bulk to your card. So this one, again, the pairs are die cut. So sorry about that. Husband is texting. Should have muted my phone, or should have turned on Do Not Disturb. Anyway, the pairs are cut from the Painterly Pairs Designer Series paper, as is the card we're about to make. And, you know, it just makes it so quick and easy, right? And then on the inside, I have some more of that pattern, that same pattern, and another embossed piece that has been distressed. I'm sorry my lighting is not picking up the white as such. When you have a darker two-tone, it is more bold, I would say, when you sand off. When you're using a light color, it is a much more subtle look, and that's actually my favorite, is to get that nice soft look. So nope, it's not important. Kenzie, he's texting about a movie that we're all going to go see, and so yeah, he's good. So it's popping up on my screen. I know exactly what he's saying, but thank you for worrying about us. So on the back of this, we have another little strip of designer paper. I left this blank. This is a thank you card. So I just left it blank so that I could customize it based on who I am sending to. So, oh my gosh. All right, 6 cards. There they all are. I went a little bonkers. I know I'm only supposed to make 5, but you know what? Sometimes you get that creative bug and you can't stop making cards. This fold is so easy and so fun, and the possibilities are endless. I can't wait to see what you make with it. We're gonna walk through this one right here. So let's move all of these out of the way and grab our packet here. And those of you that placed a qualifying order last month got your packet in the mail. There were a couple of you, your packets decided to take a trip of the tour of the entire country and ended up on the opposite side. Like one gal, she lives in Maine and her packet's sitting in California. Don't know why. So I sent her another packet, but anyway, she'll be able to make it as soon as that arrives. So if you're walking through this with me, we're going to start with the card base. This is actually decoration for the back, so I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to start with my card base. Now my card base, I got to look here, it should know this by heart by now, is 4 1/4 by 9. So that's our card base, and it is scored at, let me double check. I don't want to tell you wrong. Always better to double check. 1 3/4 and 3 1/2. All right. So 4 1/4 by 9, scored at 1 3/4 and 3 1/2. And I am going to get a bone folder. Found it. Take a sip, everybody. So to get it in the envelope, I folded it on this. So we'll say fold it on the second score line in first and give that a good crease. And then this is a Z-fold card, so we're going to be folding this part backwards. And just make sure everything lines up, and then give that a good crease. All right, and there we have our first Z. This one's a backwards Z, just like that. There we go. Okay, and now we're going to open this up. Now there are a lot of little pieces in here, so if you're making this card along with me, I'm going to recommend that you keep most of them in this envelope for now. Let's just pull out the white ones. There should be 4 white Z strips in here, kind of the boards of your fence basically. So I'm going to pull those out for now, and we're going to fold those the same way we did this one. Okay, so I have 1 2 3 4. These are 9 by 3/4 of an inch, and they are scored at, again, 1 3/4 and 3 1/2. All right, and then we have 4 of them. So we're going to go ahead and fold and crease on the second score line, the inside score line. I've already done that to get them to fit in the envelope, and then we're going to fold backwards on that other score line. And this is where you might want to line up the ends, make sure they're flush before you crease. Sometimes they're perfect, sometimes they're a little off. I have no idea why. They're all scored the same, but you know, paper, what are you going to do, right? So I'm just going to make sure those are all squared up, and then go ahead and crease that. So what we're doing here is we're making another little Z strip that's going to go on the right. Now these, when they go on the card, are going to be turned upside down, but right now, just to make it easy to fold, I'm going to have them backside facing up. All right, so I'm going to continue with the other ones. And we're going to line this right up here. Okay, give that one a crease. Excellent. And then we have one more right here. Same thing. I'm going to fold that one backwards and give that a crease. All right, so I have my 4 quadruple Z fold pieces. You can see the little Z's right there on all of them. We'll turn around so it actually looks like a Z, right? And then again, these are backwards. So our next step is to attach these. Now I have a method for doing this, and this is my method, and this is what I would recommend. I've made a lot of these cards, and there is a reason for them. So let's go over to this one, and we're going to start with adding some adhesive to the left side of this top slat. This will be our top slat, our top Z fold piece here. And so I'm going to add some adhesive. I don't want to go past the edge of this. Now, one of my team members pointed out for this top one, you actually could put your adhesive right on here if you're worried you'll get too far. Either would work for the top or the bottom. The middle ones are a little different. So let's go ahead, because you don't know where they're going to be. So I'm going to put it on the piece itself. That's what I say in the tutorial, but you absolutely could put it for the top and bottom on that piece. And then you're going to stick this on, and you just want to line it up so that it's flush with the top and flush with the side. Okay, so it's attached like that. Does that make sense? So we've got that stuck on, and now I want to attach the other end of that. I find the easiest way to do that is to just basically extend out the first fold of the Z and then fold this one backwards so that I can easily add adhesive to it. This one you absolutely want to put your adhesive on the strip because it's hard to know how long it's going to be here. And then I'm just going to manipulate this so that I'm lining it up with the edge of my card and the top of my card. So the right side and the top. Okay, so that's my first one right there. Now I'm going to skip and do the bottom one. So I'm going to grab the bottom Z fold here, and we're going to go ahead and put some adhesive on this one. Same way. So I'm going to put a couple strips here. And again, I want to make sure my adhesive, sticking to me, you guys, it's sticky stuff. I want to make sure that adhesive does not extend past this fold, or I'm going to glue my card shut, and I do not want that. So I'm going to go ahead and line that up again with the left side and with the bottom of my card right there. Okay, so that one's in place. Hang on, it was a little bit crooked. There's no crooked, not allowed. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead, again, we're going to extend out the, I don't know, I guess you could call it the foot, the edge, the side. This one's the bottom. I guess we could call it the foot. Extend that piece out and then just tuck it right back in and align it with the side and the bottom of the card and stick that one in place. All right. So we're building our fence. We're building our quadruple Z fold. We have 2 done, and now we're going to add in the middle ones. This is the part where I have a little tip for you so that those middle slats are even-ish, right? Somewhat even. So what we're going to do is we're going to, once again, on the straighter part of our Z, this is the back of it, we're going to add some adhesive here on the left. Okay, the Z part goes face down. And we're going to just lightly rest this on our card. I would say that proper spacing is, I don't know, probably 3/8 of an inch, about, approximately. But we're just going to eyeball it. So I've got one in place, but I just lightly rested it there. And I'm not going to attach the other end. I'm going to add a little adhesive to this one and just lightly rest it in place. And I'm just looking for that right spacing so that they're approximately about the same. That looks pretty good to me right there. And so I'm going to go ahead and stick those down. All right, now I'm going to extend these out. And yeah, I got this one a little messed up, didn't I? Let's see if I can fix it. Line it up at the end. There we go. All right, better. I'm happier now. Okay, let's flip out the ends of these two pieces, and we're going to attach those now. I hope I didn't just put my head under the camera lens. Sorry if I did. So I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on both of them. All right, and then we're going to pop this down. Yep, easy to make. Just take a little extra time working out that spacing. If you're a real numbers person, you absolutely could measure whatever those are. I am more of an eyeball person, and it doesn't have to be exact. Nobody on the other end is going to be measuring that card, guys. Nobody is. Just make sure it looks good to you, and then you're golden. All right, so I'm going to just give those a press now that I have them in place. And now I have my Z-fold. So I'm just going to repeat those measurements really quick so that you can make this card base. It's 4 1/4 by 9, scored at 1 3/4 and 3 1/2. And then each of the 4 pieces are 3/4 of an inch by 9, scored at 1 3/4 and 3 1/2. And there we have our horizontal Z-fold card base. Okay, now the fun part, we get to decorate it. All right? This is where we get into all the little pieces. Again, all of the measurements for these pieces are in the tutorial that is now available on my website to purchase. That's SueStampField.com. Right here, you can go to the shop page and you'll find this tutorial there. I don't have all of the photos up yet. I don't have the blog post up, but the tutorial is complete and it is there waiting for you. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pulling out all the little bits and pieces, right? We're gonna start with this piece. This is gonna go on the left side, and this is gonna cover up those seams from all of the slats and just make it look a little bit nicer and more finished. Where did my adhesive go, you guys? Here it is, right here. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this on. All right, and let's put this right on here. Okay, so we've got that stuck in place. And now we're gonna go ahead and decorate the 4 slats, okay? Now, Susan can be I can be a little anal sometimes, a little anal retentive. So, and I like to do puzzles. So I chose to painstakingly cut this designer paper in the exact same pattern that it was in the package. I'm just trying to find, oh, this one goes at the top, doesn't it? So if you like puzzles, and especially a 4-piece puzzle is much easier to do than say a 1,000-piece puzzle, you can match up your pieces. If you don't want to mess with that, you don't have to. I think it would still look good either way, and honestly, the pairs are going to cover up a lot of it. So don't get frustrated. You don't have to match it up, but I kind of like to do that, which is why I cut it for all of you in the exact right order. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put the, I don't know, I'll put the bottom one on first. It really doesn't matter. You can go top down, middle up, whatever. They're all just going to go on those slats, but I'm going to keep the same order. And I'm looking to make sure I have an even spacing at the top, the bottom, and both sides, all right? And I'm just going to work my way right up the fence here. Not really a fence, but it looks like a fence, so let's go with that. It reminds me of when I visited England once. It was a bucket trip, trip of a lifetime for me. That was on my bucket list. And I went to Jane Austen's house, and then Chowton, which is her brother's manor, if you will. And it had these beautiful gardens, and they had the pear trees that go up the brick wall. There's a name for it. It starts with an E, and I don't know how to pronounce it or even remember how you spell it, but they were so cool to have these fruit trees that are trained to go up the brick wall. And that's what this reminds me of a little bit with the pears. All right, so I have my 4 pieces. Now this is the Painterly Pears Designer Series paper. Thank you, Mary, for sharing that in the comments. It is so beautiful, you guys, absolutely gorgeous. And then we're gonna take our other pieces here. Now these are embossed with the Forever Plaid embossing folder. I think I have that name right. Let me double check. Yes, Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. For some reason, I just thought the plaid looked nice with the pears. So that's what I went with. So we're going to start, well, actually, I'm going to start with these little pieces here. So again, if you're like me and you have a bunch of little 1/2-inch pieces of white cardstock from every time you cut down a layer for a card, oh my goodness, I have so many, and this is a great use for those. In fact, one of my followers who goes to my church asked me for this fold for that exact reason. She creates cards for the seniors in her building to make, and then they sell them and donate the money to the local schools. And so she loves cards like this that use up all those little extra little bits of paper. Somehow I got adhesive on my card, so hang on. It's bugging me. Well, you know what? I'm going to be covering it up in a second anyway, but I keep sticking to it. Okay. Get my little adhesive eraser out there and take care of that. All right, so I have these 4 little bits. Yeah, I do love white on white brie. You know how I am about that. So it's subtle. I didn't want to take away from that pretty paper on the front, and just decided to keep it nice and subtle. Again, all these little bits and pieces, all those measurements are in the tutorial. All right, so we've got that all set. Let's decorate it now. So again, I used the Painterly Pears Designer Series paper to die cut out when there's a little label in there, don't lose that little label, guys. It's hiding. To die cut out these pears, and those are going to go on the front of the card. And then I'm going to stamp a greeting here from the pears. Now, your packet doesn't have any pre-stamped images. We're only allowed to send die-cut images. The stamps are copyrighted, so I can't stamp anything for you. I did use the hello from the Perfectly Pears stamp set, which just perfectly fits on this little label right here. So I'm going to open up my ink pad. I'm just going to stamp that really quick. I think I might be out of order from the tutorial right now, but that's okay. Don't have to stamp it quite yet. We can build our pears first, and that's what I did in the tutorial. Okay, got that done. I'm closing this up before I drop the card in it or anything else. All right, so you're right, Arlene. I love white on white. It's such a clean, pretty look. Now, I put my circle right in the center. If you don't want to, if you don't want to cover up that pattern, you could put it off to the side like I did on the other Painterly Pears card. Totally up to you. It's your card. You can do it however you want. I'm going to follow how I did it before. So I'm going to put 2 dimensionals. Oh boy, you guys. Oh, found them. Haha. Take a sip, everyone. I have found the dimensionals. If you haven't watched my videos before, we play a little drink game here. I lose things all the time. So when I find it again, we all say found it, and we take a sip of our beverage. All right, we're going to go ahead, and I have these 2 dimensionals, and I'm actually going to stick them right on my boards, my Z slats there, right where I want that circle to be. I'll put one on Z strip number 2 and one on Z strip number 3. Peel off the backing, and this is just done with a 2 3/8 circle punch. I'm going to pop that right in place there. Okay, and then I have my pears here. And so I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of my pears and pop them onto my card. Let's go ahead right here. And we're going to pop our pears in place. Right there. I love adding that little bit of dimension there. And then for this little hello, I'm going to put a single mini dimensional to the left side there, and let's grab one of those, flip that over and put that right there, take the backing off, and that's just going to extend off the one edge right between a couple slats like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my rhinestones, and then we'll do the back of the card. So in your sticky note in your packet, we've got some Mary's counting the found it, so it's pretty easy today. I think we've only had one, right, Mary? I haven't lost much today. It's kind of amazing. I have 3 just little tiny rhinestones just to add a subtle little sparkle to our card here. I don't want it to take away from the pears, but think dewdrops sparkling on those pears. So I've got 2 there up by the hello, and 1 more down here on the other side. Now these don't have a lot of bulk to it, so this one would be much flatter for mailing. And let's go ahead. Now, again, somebody asked about the thickness for mailing. This should be standard mailing unless you have heavy embellishments on it, or if you use like a thick cardstock, that's going to add the thickness. So you're going to want to check. And we can check that here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and finish the back side. And I'll leave this out so I don't forget to measure the thickness on this card. Back's pretty easy. We're going to adhere this white piece to the old olive right here. And I did use old olive to stamp that greeting on the front, by the way. I have a frog in my throat, you guys. Excuse me. All right, and then I have another little strip of the Painterly Pears Designer Series paper that I'm just going to add at the bottom. It's kind of a Mossy Meadow Old Olive combo of just a print there, just to add a little something something on the back. So thanks for tuning in, Kat. All right, I'm going to pop that at the bottom right there, and then we'll pop this onto our card. All right, and there we go. Stick that on the back, and there we have it. You're right, it's not just the thickness, it's also the weight. This one is not over an ounce, so in this situation it would be more the thickness that would add the postage, not the weight, unless you put really heavy embellishments on it. I suppose that could up it, but just cardstock, no. I'm just sliding it in the envelope here so that we can test it. So here I have, this is the Letter Buddy from the Country Hive, and we just check our, okay, I got a little, wait, what was that? Hang on, I messed up. I got my edge caught when I was sliding it in. Make sure those slats are in all the way. And then, yeah, this one would go with a regular stamp, as long as it's under an ounce, which it would be. So, and there we have our quadruple Z-fold cards. So again, the full 22-page tutorial is available on my blog, SueStampField.com. For purchase, I will have the fancy blog post with all the pretty pictures up for you, hopefully by the end of the day tomorrow. If you qualified for the packet for this class, or if you're on my team, I will be emailing you this tutorial tomorrow is the plan. So keep an eye out on your email for that. And if you don't receive it, don't hesitate to reach out. But these are the ones that I had fun making. And I hope that you also have fun creating a bunch of quadruple Z-fold cards. And there we go. Fantastic. Again, I like step-by-step photos, so this tutorial, I've got it all photo stepped out for you, everything that I did on these cards. So I'm going to flip my camera here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'll be back tonight. Oh, and if you want the blog post in your email when it goes out, or you want to be notified when it's available, you can go to SueStampField.com and click on blog post, and it will you'll be signing up for those and letting it know that you would like to be notified when that blog post comes out, and then you'll just get the blog post as an email. It's probably the easiest way to get it. I'll be back tonight with another creative video tutorial for you, so I hope you tune in at 7:30 Central Time this evening, and I'll look forward to seeing you then. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and thank you for making and sending handmade cards. You are making the world a kinder place, and I appreciate all you do. Have a great night. Bye-bye.